Our last presenter will be Lei on the influence of consumer ethnocentrism on brand evaluation and purchase intention, a comparison between Victoria's Secret and Uniqlo's marketing strategies.
Thank you guys for coming and thanks for your introduction. Imagine when you're at the store and you're facing two products and you see that they have the same function, but you don't exactly know where the brands are from and which country they're from. But you notice one is with a language that you're more familiar with, another is some language you even don't know. So which one you will choose? Imagine. I think if I'm you in this situation, I probably will choose the one with the familiar language, because that's the one that I know. And this really arose me the interest about how the culture difference can influence people's purchase intention. So I started my research in my seminar class last semester, and I did some research about consumer ethnocentrism and some related areas. In this semester, I conduct my research between the comparison of two brands. One is Victoria's Secret and another is Uniqlo. So I used the contextual analysis to analyze a lot of advertisement, in-store design, and also social media behaviors. I start to ask the question, what kind of methods are the marketers using when they expose to an international market? Between all this comparison, I start my research and also do my studies. So today, I'll mainly discuss these three main points. First, I'm going to talk about what I find out about the advertisement. And second, I'm going to compare these two brands and generate the strategies that I find out between these two brands. And finally, I'm going to conduct my research and the result of my conclusion. So let's start with the first one, the advertisement analysis. I mainly look up into three areas. The in-store design. A brand is approached to an international market. They tend to have a bigger store and they will open a really fancy store to attract more people get into their store, which is make these brands be awareness to a lot of people who don't know and be visible for the people who don't really know. No matter which brands they are, they have their own core idea. For example, the Uniqlo, they have a slogan for made for all, which can really close the consumer and the marketer. And also you can build a strong identification of their brands. And also, I noticed they all have a really unique style. The Victoria's Secrets, they are be popular with sexy and luxury style. So this can be easily to remember by a lot of people, even you're not from the United States. After this, I look more into the social media behaviors. I noticed recently social media is a good way for the marketers to do advertising, especially in the international market, when you cannot physically approach the market to approach to the consumers, then social media is a way to help you get close to your consumer. And also, because of the social media, they can have a really fast feedback. When you want to upload something, you can immediately get what your consumers think of and what their reaction is. And also, for Uniqlo, when they are building their social media accounts, they are using different accounts which are targeted at different countries' people. They have the account for United States, they have the account for United Kingdom. So this really helps their posts and their information be more localized and personalized. The third one that I can more look into is the models they use for their advertisement. When you look at the Victoria annual fashion show, you will notice they have a lot of models which are come from different countries. Especially in 2017, when Victoria's Secret first moved their show into Asian area, which is in China, Shanghai, they used 7 models are all from Chinese people, which can really build a close connection with the consumer in China and the models on the stage, and also can help people to want to have the need to purchase their products. And also for Uniqlo, they're using different people from different countries with different skin tone, which also can promote a bigger international market. And also the Uniqlo is using a really famous tennis player for the ambassador to build a stronger brand awareness. After compared to all these two brands and all their advertising behaviors, I generalized there are 5 main strategies that I found out. The first one is about the e-commerce. What is e-commerce? So recently, more and more people are not pretend to go to a real store to purchase their products instead of going to online. So when Victoria's Secret first launched in China, they're not only open an in-store, they're also be cooperate with the local market, which is called Alibaba. It's an online shopping mall. And this really helps them to increase their revenue about selling products, not only through indoor, but also online. And also, open an online store can help a marketer who is not original from that country to lower their cost. Because explore a new international market and open a big store often costs a lot of money. The second strategy that I find out is about the globalization standard. So compared to these two brands, the Uniqlo and Victoria's Secret, when they first came to a new country, they are all picking a big major city in this country. For Uniqlo, they picked New York City when they first launched into United States. And the Victoria's Secret, when they went to China, they opened a store in Shanghai, which is the most biggest city in China. And also you can see this all flagship store. They have a really beautiful decoration. They have three floors, and they have most popular downtown location, which can make people to be awareness and build their closeness to the new country's people. And also, the use of language is a main core. So because of the world language is English, so using English at their advertisement and use the English at their slogan will also have more people to get into your brands and your advertisement. The second main idea and strategy that I find out is about the core idea. So compared to these two brands, Uniqlo has a really specific slogan for "Made for All," which can really get closer to people and the consumers. And you can also see from their in-store design, they have a really separate section for different part, and they also use a different color to separate their stores, which will make the consumer first came into the store be attracted by all the colorful decoration. Victoria's Secret doesn't have a really specific slogan, but everyone can tell that they have the idea of sexy, luxury. So when people first came into their store, they will mostly get attracted by all this kind of really fancy decoration with the shining lights and all the fluffy decorations. Another cool idea that I want to talk about is about the technology. When I look into the Uniqlo, I find out they have a big innovation for their technology for clothes, which they are giving the consumer with a clothes with high quality but at a low purchase price, which can keep going and makes more and more consumers not only want to buy their clothes but want to explore what kind of technology for clothes they can provide. The next idea that I find out is when you are using the core idea of your brands, you are also need to be more flexible with the local culture when you approach the international market. So for the Victoria's Secret, when they first came to China, they realized actually the idea of Victoria's Secret is not really be accepted by Chinese culture, which is more conservative. So people are more think of, are you a brand more too sexual for ours? So Victoria's Secret kind of conversion their products mainly focus not only on the bras, underwears, but also more in their perfume, makeup, and other related products. And it's the same thing for Uniqlo. When Uniqlo first came to US, they are using the same hangers when they used in Japan. But actually the result is people came to the store in the United States, they figure out the same hanger which they use in the Japan is more look like a lower cheap brand for here. It's like a Walmart products. So they need to change their in-store hanger design to make people feel more professional and feel more fancy as a foreign brand. And then I figured out there are also a lot of strategies that these two brands are using in their social medias. And also social media is a good way for them to be connected with the e-commerce, which is sell the products online. And also, as I said before, social media is a good way for you to build a closeness with your consumer when you're not from the same country. And building more connections can bring up their brand's loyalty when they want to purchase the products. And also because of the social media, you can get a really fast feedback from the consumer and build more strong connection through making a hot topic. For example, Victoria's Secrets are hosting their annual show in different countries, which can attract people to post things on social media and get more focus and intention from different countries' people. After I conduct all my research and generate the strategies for all these two brands, I came to the part about the conclusion, which I find out about the consumer identification and brand identification. So for the brand identification and consumer identification are two really main ideas for marketers and also for consumers to look into. And these two things are relatable to each other, which cannot be separated alone. For the consumer identification, I look into more about the ethnocentrism and cosmopolitanism. And also, these are more influenced by whether you are being exposed to a mass media, are you use the language of English, and are you traveling to different countries to get the social interaction from different part of the world, or are openness to all the different cultures. And all these elements can influence different people's the level of their ethnocentrism. And we'll look at the brand identification. The brand identification is mainly depends on the country of origin, which is which country you're from and what's the cultural background of these brands. But also, marketers, if you want to expose to a new international market, you need to be careful about how you can do to build the closeness between the marketer and the consumer. And also, as a foreign brands, people don't know how you can strengthen your familiarity to the brand, to the consumer. And then you need to use some ambassador, or you need to use the advertisement to bring people's awareness of your brands and be visible to the people who don't really know you. So for today's presentation, I mainly talked about the three part. The first part, I briefly talked about my analysis of advertisement, which I compared Victoria's Secret and Uniqlo. And second, I generalized the strategies that I find out for international markets. And then I come to my conclusion, which based on the literature review that I did about consumer ethnocentrism and other series, I generalized what's the main idea for a marketer to approach to an international market. Today's presentation is not only let you know about the consumer ethnocentrism, but also I think it's really important for us to be aware of the psychology of consumer. And also as a consumer, you need to be brave enough to step out of your comfort zone and look more into the international market. And also I think this will not be helpful for the marketer who wants to approach to a bigger international market, but also to help you find a better products for yourself and to help you to increase the quality of your life.
All right, thank you. If all the presenters want to come back up to the front, and then I'll open the floor for questions and comments. So we have any questions or comments for any of our presenters?
So, Lumiao, thank you for the presentation. Thank you all. And Lumiao, I have a question about the ethnocentrism and how it enters into purchasing decisions. How do you think you might assess that? What kind of method would you be interested if you were doing more research to try to get to be able to isolate that it was the ethnocentrism that actually affected the purchasing decision?
Okay, So actually, originally I want to conduct a survey or a skill analyze for different people in different countries to let them do the survey, because the people who came out with this survey, Shrimp and Shimp, in 1987, they're not came up with this idea or definition, but also they have the consumer ethnocentric skill, which has 17 questions to ask the consumer or the potential consumers. So if I have time, if I will be able, I will be willing to do the survey, which use this 17 questions for the people that I want to look into, like college students or my peers, people from different countries, to use this skill to test which level they are on consumer ethnocentrism and what kind of behavior they will have specifically.
So thank you, and just a quick follow-up. So if you measure their ethnocentrism through a survey, how would you determine that their purchase was affected by that and not, say, other variables like they're purchasing clothing because they walked by and saw a friend wearing the same shirt or something like that?
Yeah, I guess that part kind of is hard to measure, but I think through analyze the detail from like social media or other platforms, which people can provide their information, like their feedbacks, it will be easier for us to get the idea. But obviously, I think there are so many things can influence them, and there are so many behaviors that they have cannot be really measured because it's really into their life and deep into their small details. So I guess through the platform with which the consumer can give their feedback about the specific brands and the products will be helpful to analyze more.
We'll stay with Lu Miao and then move on to others. So what do you think the lesson is for people who want to build an international brand? What's the takeaway? If you were to be hired as a consultant for a brand that is trying to enter into a new market, what would your advice be?
So based on my research, I realized the culture difference is really, really important. Like you don't want to break some rules that the other country have, but your country doesn't have. So I guess the best thing for you to do is first get into that culture that you don't really know, and then be awareness of what they like and what they don't like. And then when you have all the information that you have from that country, and then you can build a more firmly targeted strategy where you really open the store there, or when you really have some actions for sales or actions. So the culture is the most important thing that I think. Thank you for the question.